Good anytime, my Fuzzyites, and welcome to a quick review of Batman Arkham City. As always with these quick reviews, I like to rank them 1 to 5. 0, 1 being that whatever the game was going for, I felt just didn't hit. It could have been done a lot better, and it was really, really not well implemented. Shown or whatnot. 3 being that it's just basic. Whatever it was trying to go for, it hit it without being anything special, moderately entertaining, or anything like that. It was just, if you're looking for something of that sort, this is what you get, this is what you expect. It's nothing that would overly shock you. And then Batman, And then 5, ranking 5, is for when the series really blows my mind. It really goes above and beyond what it could have done, should have done. And it was just really, really well done. So, let's start as always with the first thing being, story. So, basically, the story, to sum it all up, basically the story of Arkham City is you are sent to, or Bruce Wayne, doing a press rally against Arkham City, is arrested by Hugo Strange, who reveals he knows who Batman is, sent into Arkham City. After a confrontation, he gets his batsuit and then begins his hunt down for what's going on with Protocol 10, which Hugo Strange is going on, and what's going on with the Joker, if Joker is involved. Finding Joker, he gets infected with the Titan, with his blood, with Joker's blood, which is poisoned by the Titan he took in Arkham Asylum, and so he must, 1, create a cure for the condition he has. Search for a cure with Freeze for the cure he has. 2, stop Protocol 10 and find out what Protocol 10 is. And yeah, I think that's about the main 2 missions. Stop Joker, and I guess 3, stop Joker. There's a lot of side missions in between, like Deadshot killing people they have to save, random people around. Catwoman has her own story weaving throughout. If you watch this, you should have seen my profile, my playthrough, or at least played it yourself. Hopefully. So I won't go too much more into story, but overall with the story, it is a 5 for me. Well, overall the story, I'm going to give a 4.5. Because there was a few things in there that were just like, oh yeah, that's... I'm going to give it a 5. Because it was a nice ride all the way through. From hunting down the Joker, to getting poisoned, to hunting down Penguin, to get Mr. Freeze, the boss fight with Mr. Freeze, going after Hugo Strange. Everything about it was good. 4.5. Because there are some problems with the story that might make me scratch my head. Like Hugo Strange trying to burn down the city, I guess, afterwards, or them like letting him have the power to do it, even though like you would think someone would have their eye on Hugo, and be like, well, you're supplying them with weapons. Like, what did you think was happening? Oh, the story was really good and compelling. I liked it all the way through. It was nice to see characters like going against the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, your confrontation with him, Ra's al Ghul, along with other people. And even the side missions were good, with the Riddler taking hostages, giving you an actual incentive to get all the riddles, because getting riddles, whatever certain percentage, would unlock a hostage trial area, which you would have to go through to get the hostage safe and sound, and then at the end you would find and take down Riddler, which gave you a lot more incentive to hunt down the trophies, because it actually adds to the thing. Catwoman's story was nice. Her trophies were weird. I think they just put them in there because they're like, well, you know. They just put him in there because, like, well, Batman has trophies. Let's put trophies in for Catwoman. because things were easy and whatnot, but we'll get to that later, I guess, maybe. But overall for story, it was really compelling all the way through. 4.5, because there was a few things, like even the Lazarus pit being underneath. I guess if you read the thing, it's a 5. It's a 5 for story, because they also give you a lot of background in notes. I should have read them, but I guess I didn't. But like the characters are compelling. They moved the story forward. I always wanted to see what was going on. And like it's weird. The one thing is weird that Hugo Strange wanted to make the prison, put the people in there, to then kill them off and whatnot, and how no one really connected any dots. I guess Batman did. Is weird, but overall, good story. 5 out of 5. Mwah. Really outdone itself. Going on to the characters. So you have Batman, of course, as always, in these games. You have the Joker, who is sick and trying to get a cure. You have Penguin, who had cops infiltrate his museum, so he's captured them and is not too happy. He's also captured Mr. Freeze. Penguin and Joker are having a major battle against each other. Freeze is trying to find his wife while trying to get a cure for the Joker, who has his wife. And then there's a bunch of side characters. Riddler's there, trying to outsmart the Batman. Mad Hatter, one of my favorite characters, you see in a side story and whatnot. There's just a lot of characters here. Even going around the city and hearing the thugs, prisoners talk to each other adds a lot of character because, it's just fun. A lot of fun dialogue between them. There's a lot of good conversations between them. I'll enjoy it. So again, I'm going to give it a 5, which is no surprise because these characters are really well defined. They all moved it forward or gave you something interesting to listen to while you flew over everything. And just really well done. 5 out of 5 for character. The setting of Arkham City is, I guess, the downtown portion of Gotham, which has been turned into a makeshift prison, which in itself is really interesting. And then you have areas like the sewers, museum, steel mill, Wonder Tower, Wonder World area, whatever it was underneath the ground. So some really nice areas to go to. Even above ground, it was split up into 4 sections. Each of them had their own distinct look to them and feel. Maybe not overly the Brawler or Park Lane or whatever it was. But it was beautiful, made sense to what was going on, and just very nice. Especially the museum, with all the exhibits being taken over by Penguin, and you can press buttons to hear him voice over what's going on. It is a very unique and interesting go-through. Steel Mill as well really stands out to being a factory, which it is, but has a lot of nice things to it. They really did a good job in differentiating a lot of the areas. And even the town below, Wonder City, that's the name, looked very unique, being a more, Victorian era type of thing, but very beautiful in its own right. So overall, with even that, I am going to give it a 5 out of 5, because it looked good. There was a lot to do. It wasn't too big of a map that you worried about getting from one end to the other quickly, but the areas were differentiated. They were neat. Again, if you read all the stories and whatnot that you unlock during the story, that's background that you don't get from the story. You know a lot more about the stories and whatnot, which I didn't do. I should have done. But overall, 5 out of 5 for setting, because it's just very nice. 4 out of 5, because again, the Brower and Park Lane kind of were similar, but it's also a city, so it's hard to differentiate them. So 4 out of 5 just because of that. But everything else was beautifully well done. It looked unique. It had its own style, and it had its own class and flavor to it. Game mechanics. So like Arkham Asylum, the main game mechanic is going around and using your attack button to punch people, your counter button to counter them, hold it back if someone has a knife to dodge multiple, You have to use your cape to knock people with car doors or shields back a bit, then press A to jump up and slam them to the ground to knock them out for a while. The electric stick people you have to jump over and then hit. And gun people you have to avoid because they'll shoot you. But besides that, you also have your takedowns. If someone's on the ground, you can take them out. If you knock people around for a bit, you can get up a counter, which can give you an insta takedown. And or disassemble. It can allow you to disassemble people's weapons, like guns and whatnot. As well, Batman has a very good variety of different gadgets. Them being like the classic batarang, the grapple gun comes back into this, but he also gets new stuff, like an electric pulse gun, as well as a freeze grenades, and even a disarmament thing for guns, mines, and such, which is fun. Love to see it. So overall, one thing I really like in this game that they really included more of than in Arkham Asylum, the last game in the series, if you don't know, is there was a quick weapons. So if you press a button twice, you'd throw a batarang. Press another button twice, you'd throw a grenade. Hold a button and then press another, you'd use grapple. You could put the explosive thing on the ground and whatnot. And overall, the implementation of it was really good. It really did a good job of taking everything from Arkham City and bringing it up a level with new gadgets and whatnot. Like I said, one of my favorite things is in combat, you can just press 2 buttons and then all of a sudden, boom, here's a grapple to bring a person close to you to take them out. Or boom, there's an electric gun to shock someone so that they're stopped momentarily from attacking you, so you can maybe take someone out where you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Or there's a freeze thing, that character will be freeze. It takes the fight down to 5 guys, down to 4, much more manageable. The Riddler trophies as well were very, very nice in this. There was a lot more variety to how to get them through different puzzles. Even if it was the same thing, like Batarang, sometimes there was flaps in an air vent that would go up and down that you had to slowly go through and get the right timing to hit. Sometimes it was just pick the right question mark. Sometimes you had to hit all 3 Riddler pads without touching ground. There was just a good variety of Riddler stuff. And also going into the side missions, there was a good variety of side missions. I think 12 in all? Maybe more, something around that. And they all range from just, as you're going around the city, you'll hear people being confrontational with someone and have a knife to their throat. So you go down and beat them. You have to look for dead bodies that don't come up on your map. And investigate to find a serial killer. You have to investigate an area where murder has just happened by Deadshot to figure out where Deadshot is. To even hallucination battle with the Mad Hatter. There's just a good variety of different things to do. All of them optional and good to play. That really added more to the story than just, oh, go here, oh, go there, oh, go here, oh, go there. Oh, you're going here? Hey, just so you know, in this area, there's also a Titan tub that Bane needs you to break for him. Oh, you're in this area, you're going from one area to another? Oh, well, look at that. There's a political prisoner being harassed. You should go save them. Oh, there's a Riddler trophy. Just a lot to do. So that's the Batman portion of the side. Really good. Really, really good. But you also have other characters to fight as. Like Catwoman being in the main story, Robin being in Harley Quinn's Revenge, and then Nightwing being, I think, only in the, what is it? Riddler Challenges. All these characters fight differently, having some gadgets, but less than Batman. And they just move differently, they fight differently, they take out people differently. They have different weapons. Catwoman has her claws. Robin has elongated stick. What's his name? Nightwing, I don't know. I don't think I've played as him, so I don't know. But they all bring something different to the table, so when you're playing as them, you have some other stuff to do. But overall, for game mechanics-wise, the game is, again, no surprise, 5 out of 5. It really did a good job at taking everything from Asylum and upping it to an amazing event. That was just brilliant. As well, there is... So with this game being a sequel, we got a special rating thing being the legacy or sequel or whatever to come out of it. So, like I've said before, Arkham Asylum was the first game, and this game, Arkham City, just takes everything from Arkham Asylum and boosts it up to an amazing degree. The story features a lot. Does it feature more villains? Because you go against Bane, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. What's his name? Joker. Don't know why I couldn't think of Joker. Scarecrow. Killer Croc. So yeah, about 6 or 7. And here you have the Penguin, you have Two-Face, Joker, Mr. Freeze, Bane, kind of. Poison Ivy, kind of. Yeah, there's a lot more villains you see in it, you interact with. There's a lot more in the side missions, Riddler, and whatnot. Just overall some good stuff. So, with the story, it ups it, continuing on, which I really like. Because if you just had Arkham Asylum, where Joker takes the Titan, and then that was it, nothing more comes from the Titan, then it's kind of a lame fight. But with this one, being that you see the aftermath of that, with Joker being deadly sick, and it eventually taking him completely, it adds cadence to that, so I like it. The characters, like I said, there's a lot more villains, there's a lot more side story. It's a lot of the stuff that you like. If you like Batman, Salem on the chair, you'll probably like this one. Hi, Salem. Good upgrade, or continuation of the characters. Nothing felt like it was retconned from the first to the second one, and whatnot. Or completely deviated from the plan. It felt like it was all along. The setting was a lot bigger. You don't go through No, you do go through some interior areas. Not all as big as that, but they were good. They were good big areas that you did go into. They were nice and felt like it did a favor to the story and whatnot. It didn't feel like anything was just there for being there. There's a reason for it, either by the city being there and whatnot. So it did a good job at making the map bigger without being too overwhelming. And the mechanics, like I've said before, it took everything from Arkham Asylum and just gave you better quick gadgets to use, as well as more characters to play as. So overall, really good game. 5 out of 5 for a sequel. Because like I said, it took everything of Arkham Asylum and just boosted it up to 1,000. Or 10, however you want to look at it. So overall with the series, it is going to be a 5 out of 5. Because the story was really well done. Everything felt fluid and nice to get through. Again, I have my own problems with like, oh, this happened? That's kind of weird. But they're very minimal to what's going on. The characters, just as you know before, they act off of what happened in Arkham Asylum, which is beautiful. And all drive the story forward really, really nicely. The setting is nice. A bigger area that you have is a downtown area, so you kind of see, yeah, I believe that it would be an area that people used to live and work at. with their families and whatnot. And even the areas like the museum, which is Penguin's Lounge. I see it. I can definitely see that. The steel mill being a steel mill. Very nicely done. Wonder City being very Victorian and ancient is beautiful as well. And even just it taking everything from Arkham Asylum and using it to its own advantage to further everything is just brilliant. A very good 5 out of 5 game that I recommend playing if you like these sorts of games. But anyways, that's it. That's all. That's my quick review of the game. So thank you, my fuzzy eyes, for watching, and I'll see you next anytime. Take care.